On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, we're talking all about video, and to do that, we brought the number one plumber on YouTube onto the show. A plumber, yes. Yes, I know he's not an agent, but guess what? He crushes it with video, specifically on YouTube, and we as agents can learn a hell of a lot from him. Luckily, Roger Wakefield, the expert plumber, is here to share all of his secrets of how to crush it on YouTube.
The Massive Agent Podcast. With lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 113 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am so glad you're here today. We have one hell of an interview, such a great conversation. Make sure you listen through to the end. It's just awesome. It's really, really good. It's one of my favorite conversations. So if you've ever Googled anything related to like how to stop a leaky faucet, how to stop a running toilet, anything plumbing related, you've probably found our guest. You've probably seen his channel, Roger Wakefield, on YouTube. He's the number one plumber on YouTube. He's known as the expert plumber. And so we go from the beginning, when he very first decided he was going to start doing YouTube content, to what it's led to. Because he's a plumber in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He's a plumber. And he's since grown a totally new business that's helped his local plumbing business. And we as agents can learn from him. I'm adamant, guys, you have to branch out. You have to start paying attention to what others outside of our industry are doing well. Marketing, using the tools we have available, is not just a real estate thing. It's not just us as agents who have access to Facebook Live. It's not just us who can do video. It's not just us who can use TikTok. Okay, it's literally any business anywhere, and others are killing it. And sometimes they're doing stuff that we in the industry don't even think about. So it's great to branch out. So that's why I'm having a plumber on the Massive Agent Podcast. If you are new to the show, welcome. My name is Dustin Brohm, your host. I'm an agent. I'm a real estate agent in Salt Lake City, Utah with eXp Realty. I am the co-founder and director of business development of the first real estate and mortgage industry podcast network called the Industry Syndicate. This show is a proud member of the Industry Syndicate Network. And you can get the Industry Syndicate podcast app over on the App Store or Google Play. Make sure you do that if you haven't yet. And we just added a couple new shows to the network this month. There's another one coming next week and a few more in March. So it's growing, and we're creating one place where you can go find the best podcasts in our industry, whether you're an LO, an agent, a real estate investor, whatever. We're putting it all in one place, and but we're not stopping there. I'll tell you that much. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of cool stuff coming from the Industry Syndicate and our hosts coming very, very soon. So you're going to want to get that app. And yeah, so I'm also a columnist. I write a weekly column for Housing Wire. You can see that over at housingwire.com. And I'm the founder of the Massive Agent Society. Guys, if you've been listening for a minute, you know the Massive Agent Society is my coaching program. It's my online course. It's my Facebook ads database, because I want you to become a Facebook ads lead generation master. To do that, it's going to take some learning. You're going to have to practice. You're going to have to do things the right way in order to master being controlling your own ability to get new leads. So that's what it's all about. So I created the Massive Agent Society as a way to give you self-led, self-guided online course style training, a coaching program with weekly coaching calls where you learn from me directly, not just one of my people, because I don't have people. It's me that you get one-on-one access to through our coaching calls. The network. So here's the thing. There's only one agent per market. All right. A lot of markets are claimed. Most are not. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I had a lot of interest a few weeks ago when I did the 50% off our lifetime memberships, right? That saved you $1,500, which is, okay, still ridiculous when you consider like some of these other coaches where you don't even meet with them. You know, you get a weekly coaching call and it's like, $1,500 or $2,000 a month. It's absurd. So I decided not to go that route. I want to actually make it affordable for those who need it. Okay. Not just the top producers that can afford it. I want to make it affordable for those who actually need it. But I digress. Actually, I don't digress. This is all part of the deal. But today I'm going to do something because a lot of you who did not listen on the Thursday that I talked about it, because the show comes out every Thursday, I'm going to do something for you today. If you guys are listening on Thursday, February 20th, the day this comes out, guys, you're going to want to subscribe to this show if you haven't yet. Subscribe so you get a notification whenever there's a new episode, so you don't forget. Because if you forget, then you might miss what I'm about to say. For those of you who have been wanting to join the Massive Agent Society and be the only agent in your market, basically you're claiming your market as long as you are an active member, I'm going to give you another 50% off deal, okay, off the annual membership, because I know not everyone wants lifetime and it's more money. So today only, February 20th, use promo code today only. See what I did there? Use promo code today only, get 50% off the annual memberships. That makes it less than $1,000 to have a full year of membership to the Massive Agent Society where you have claimed your market. Take advantage today. Go to massiveagentsociety.com. Make sure you look at the claimed or at the sold out markets map first to make sure that another agent hasn't beat you to it. But if not, you can beat them to it and claim your market and start copying and pasting Facebook ads that have been proven to work from hundreds and hundreds of agents from all around the country. And then we give you the hand-holding, the guidance, the personal touch to help you analyze the results of your Facebook ads, to help you understand why maybe it's not delivering properly, or why your ad's getting denied and how to fix it. Or, you need a mentor. You need someone to hold your hand through that. And that's what we provide. So one last time, massiveagentsociety.com. Go claim your market. Make sure it's available first. Use promo code today only to get 50% off an annual membership, making it $999. Today only, February 20th. All right, let's jump into it real quick. I need to show some love to you guys that have left reviews. I love doing this every week because if you take the time to leave us a review on iTunes, why do I keep calling it that? It's not iTunes anymore. They killed iTunes. Apple Podcasts. If you've taken the time to give us a review on Apple Podcasts, I want to thank you. So our reviews of the week. So here's one. Eye-opening, current, and relevant. Thanks, Dustin, for your commitment to this podcast. There's so much valuable insight shared here. Great guests and the most relevant marketing and business material I've heard in a while. Thank you. And I have... Okay, your username, LJVDXCBNF. Well, thank you, LJVDXCBNF. I appreciate it very much. So I don't know who you are, but thank you. I appreciate the review. Guys, you can leave a review as well. Just go to massiveagentpodcast.com/review. It takes you right to the Apple Podcast spot where you leave a review. Please write out a review if you would. It does help us. But even more helpful than reviews is just click the subscribe button. Click subscribe. So did you know, okay, I believe I've talked about this on a previous podcast, but if you guys are podcasting or plan to, you hear podcasts like, oh, I'm a top 10 show, I'm a top 100, whatever. How do you get into those charts? It's all about how many subscribers you get over a rolling 48-hour period. You need people to subscribe. That is a trigger. That is the biggest trigger to Apple Podcasts that your podcast is good and that people, that it's in demand, that people want it, is if they click subscribe. Because if you subscribe, you're not going to subscribe to crap. You're going to subscribe to stuff you like and you see valuable. So that is the biggest trigger. Reviews help to give credibility and help you be found in the search results. So a show that is brand new that has no reviews versus a show that is 2 years old that has almost 200 reviews, which one's going to show up higher in the search results? Usually it's the one with more reviews. So that's where it helps. Thank you guys. Anyone who's already done that, thank you so much. I'm going to do a contest for subscribers for those who already have and who will in the future. I'm going to do a contest with that in mind, with the rolling 48-hour period in mind. I'm not doing it this week. I wanted to focus on the 50% off the annual membership to the society because that's going to be big. And I'm going to be checking my messages a lot today because I have a feeling people are going to be chiming in about that. But you don't need to chime in. You can just go to the website and do it. So I don't even know why I said chime in. Anyhow, guys, I'll be doing a contest to reward those of you who have subscribed because it matters a lot. All right. And lastly, before we jump into the interview with Roger Wakefield, the expert plumber, you guys know that I am an agent with eXp Realty. I have been since April of 2018. And eXp has really become something that at the time I joined, I knew it was giving me opportunity, and that I had one hell of an opportunity to build some financial wealth and create a residual monthly income so that I didn't have to depend on only commission income. But then it was theory. It's really started to catch on, guys. It's really growing fast. It's absolutely changing my family's life and trajectory forever. And what's crazy is so many people just have a closed mind because they have their team jersey on. I challenge you. I don't care who your current brokerage is. If you don't fully understand why eXp is growing so fast, take a minute to do it. So on my website, massiveagentpodcast.com/exp, I put a new video up that you guys have not seen yet. There's a new video that explains the opportunity visually, breaks it down, all the different components, how most agents actually save money and can keep more of their commission by switching to eXp. It shows the revenue share model that's really like setting me and my family on a course to be wealthy, okay, and to have this financial safety net. It's crazy how just one decision and a little bit of action can change everything. But it starts with an open mind. So go to massiveagentpodcast.com/exp, watch that new video, and I embedded my scheduler, my calendar scheduler. So if you have questions or you just want to chat about the eXp opportunity and what I can provide to you if you come join our team, you can now schedule a Zoom meeting with me, a Zoom call with me right there on the site. Okay, you don't need to message me and ask what time I have available. You can schedule it right there on the site, get it on your calendar, get it on my calendar. All the spots that are available on my calendar are there, but you need to go to massiveagentpodcast.com/exp. All right, guys, let's talk to the plumber. Let's bring the plumber in because Roger Wakefield is crushing it on YouTube, and he has some amazing tips, amazing insights, amazing points of focus that we as agents need to do and can do so we can grow our businesses online. It's such a cool conversation. Make sure you stay through the end with Roger Wakefield. Let's do it. What's up, guys? I'm sitting here with the expert plumber, the number one plumber on YouTube, Roger Wakefield. How's it going, my friend?
It's going great, Dustin. How are you?
Very good. Very good. So Roger and I met a few weeks ago down in Dallas. We were speaking at an event for Fairway Mortgage in Garland, Texas, and he was part of an expert panel that I was moderating, and none of you guys were from the real estate industry, which I loved because agents are focused way too much on how things have been done within the industry. And I think that's true for most industries, but I'm in this one and know this one. We see what other agents do and we just kind of regurgitate that or put our own spin on it. But it's so important to look outside at what else is working for others, plumbers, for God's sakes, and you're winning in a very big way. So first off, in about 30 seconds, get us up to speed on who you are. Who is Roger Wakefield?
Roger Wakefield's a plumber. You hit it right off the bat, and every time I speak, I start off and tell people that I'm just a plumber. But the thing is, I've learned to use social media to get my message, get other people's attention, and I've got people from around the world that know who I am because of social media and the way I use it, but I'm just a plumber.
See, we were talking before we started recording that I was getting your title and everything. I already knew the name of your plumbing company in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Mm-hmm. I'm in Salt Lake City. I have no need to know of a plumbing company in DFW, but I do just because you got yourself out there. Like it's amazing. It's amazing how powerful all of this is. And today we're going to talk a lot about video because you've used video on YouTube specifically to build a brand, to become known internationally when, like you said, you're just a plumber. And so at most of our audience is agents. We still have to be real estate agents. We still have to meet with clients, open doors, write offers, negotiate offers, put signs in yards, all that stuff. We have to be marketers on top of it. And so you're a plumber. You have to be a marketer on top of that. You chose video. Tell us the story of how that first started.
It started because I had actually won a contest. I didn't just make up the name, I'm the expert plumber. I won a contest put on by American Standard where they were looking for the next expert plumber. They held a plumber know-how contest. You made a video, you gave advice, you said what you liked about this. I won. And it really surprised me because I had never done a video, but I knew American Standard is like one of the biggest, best plumbing companies in the world and the product that they use. So I just thought, I'm going to submit the video, see what happens. I still remember the day they called me and said, hey, or they sent an email, and I read it. And I'm like, oh my God, I won. And I decided, look, I'm going to do this. And they wanted me to do social media. They wanted me to do Facebook Lives. They wanted me to do different things. And throughout the process, they had sent a media company down here to Dallas. We shot in a Dallas park, went to a buddy's house for 2 days and shot videos there. I mean, I've got videos on American Standard's YouTube channel.
That's cool.
After we finished that contract, I started studying social media. I wanted to do better than I had done. So I signed up for Social Media Marketing World, which is actually in a couple of weeks.
In San Diego?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
So I signed up for it. I went to it. Now, I'm an early bird. So I think the doors opened at 9. I show up at 8. The doors are open. So I walk right up to the counters. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm here early. Can I go ahead and register? And they're like, sure. So the girl signs me up, and she looks at me, and she says, oh, you're a plumber. She says, there's no other plumbers here. What kind of other people would you hang out with? I said, electricians, roofers, landscapers, HVAC techs, anybody in the residential service industry. She said, okay. And she goes through this, and this girl looks up at me brokenhearted. And she said, I'm sorry, there's nobody here like you.
Wow.
And man, I smiled from ear to ear. She says, I have no idea who you're going to hang out with. I'm like, look, don't you worry about me. I'm good. And I saw the opportunity. I thought, why is there no one here like me? And the first day was workshops. And I love it because you're in the room with a speaker that knows what they're speaking about for 90 minutes. And they have time to literally teach you how to do something. And, I still remember the first day and all the sessions or all the workshops I went in. The one that really jumped out to me was Pete Vargas, Advance Your Reach. How to speak from stage or how to speak to get customers. So I'm taking notes. And I'm like, okay, I want to start speaking to real estate agents. I'm a plumber. Real estate agents can refer people to plumbers every day.
Yeah,
and I thought,
absolutely.
This is a great thing. So the next day, and I'm walking to a different session, but for some reason I turn in this session because a guy named Daryl Eves is talking about how to use YouTube to get in front of your customers. And I thought, wow. So I go in, I sit down, I sit on the front row. I'm one of these, man, if I can get there early and sit on the front row, I'm ADD, I'm focused. So if somebody's over here moving, I'm like this all day. So I'm sitting here and I've got the monitor in front of me. And he's over here and I'm watching it. And somewhere in the beginning of his speech, he says, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I thought, man, this guy's stupid. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. YouTube is just a place to hold videos.
Right.
Man, by the time he finished his session, I was like, this is what I need to do. So I changed every class that I'd picked to go to, I changed. I focused on YouTube. I went to Sean Cannell. I went to Luria Petrucci. I went to so many different ones that were about video and YouTube and things that I thought could help. And I went home that weekend. I didn't even stay for the entire conference. I had to leave before the keynote because I had a radio show the next morning. So I'm going through my notes on the way home. I do the radio show the next morning. I come back to the office, go through my notes, get to church the next morning, take my wife back home, come back to the office, go through notes. When my wife and my stepson, who's my marketing officer, when they came in the next morning, I said, we're changing the way we do everything. And we started planning on putting out 3 videos a week, starting the beginning of the next month. And we've been consistent about it. And it's been amazing.
That's incredible. I love going to conferences and events because just like you did, big decisions are made at big events. And you have to be in the room in order to be moved to make that decision. A virtual live stream of an event is cool if you just need the information. But Roger, it's not just about the information. It's about the power of the information and it moving you to make a move in some direction. So that doesn't surprise me. Social media marketing world is a cool event. I was there in 2017, I believe. And the party on the USS Midway is always cool.
Oh my God. That they did, the last one they did was the first one I was at.
Okay.
I will never forget that night. So that was 2 years ago. It's the last time they did the Midway.
Oh, they don't do it anymore?
No. And I mean, it broke my heart last year because,
oh man,
that's the thing I remembered most is like, this was a party.
Yes. I mean, how cool is that? You're on an aircraft carrier. That's interesting. So you can actually look back at a moment in time when you had this pivot point, this decision, this, you're like, this is the direction we're going. Let's fast forward a little bit. Well, actually, barely. Let's barely fast forward. Once you started down that road, I don't just want to glance over what that was like, because so many people get stuck at that stage that they decide, they make a big decision. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to launch a website. I'm going to do a blog. I'm going to start doing video, whatever. And then they get stuck and they never actually do it, or they don't do it long enough. Tell me about the process or your experience when you started doing videos.
The thing you said, Dustin, it's not that they get stuck. It's they come back to the office like I did. When I walked in Monday morning, I could have just said, oh, wow, look, plumbing is going on.
Yeah.
I got to get right back into plumbing.
Yeah. Life is happening.
Yeah, it is. And it does. It jumps up and it bites us on the butt and it's right there. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But what happened to me is I literally sat in this conference and I thought, look, I can listen to this and write it all down and go home Monday and be a plumber and not worry about it. Or I can do something. And it's funny because to me, I mean, I'm a plumber. It's all about my tools. If I do a bad job, it's not because I had bad tools. It's because I didn't use my tools the right way. And I look at what I learned at social media marketing world as tools. Michael Stelzner's put together an event that gives people the tools they need to change their lives. And I decided I'm changing my life. This is what I'm going to do. And I didn't have any idea I would be where I'm at now. I literally thought I'm tired of getting ripped off by OPM marketing companies, other people's money. All they do, as a plumber, when you walk in and say, well, how much money have you got? What's that got to do with how much you charge? Well, how much do you want your phone ring? It's this much money, more money. And that's all it ever was. And I decided I want to learn social media. I want to learn to build relationships. I want to learn not to sell, but to give people value, and then they want to buy from me.
To attract.
It's amazing. And get people's attention and give them something of value. And then they're like, you build that trusted advisor relationship, and man, y'all are hooked up forever.
What was the hardest part about starting?
I'm really lucky because Will, my stepson, and Julia, my wife, man, they were on board. When I came in and talked about it, they were like, okay, we're going to do it. I'd almost say that the hardest part is just turning on the phone and doing it, getting started, buying the and I say the computer camera, but we've advanced from that beyond now. But
some of us, I'm still using my MacBook camera for this.
And you know what?
I know what you mean.
So my first purchase was going out and buying a Logitech Bravia 1080 camera. Mm-hmm. And even I started out before that with the 922. But I'd seen other people doing it. It's like, okay. And Will and I were laughing so hard. We went back the other day and looked at some of our old videos. And we just started laughing. It's like, oh my God, can you believe we put that out?
Right.
But you know what? We did put it out. And you know what? I don't care. And I'm not taking it down. You want to go back and laugh at it? Go laugh at it. Learn that, look, you don't have to be perfect to start. But in order to get perfect, you've got to start. And man, we're never going to be perfect. And we understand that. We're still having problems. I did a LinkedIn live stream a while ago, LinkedIn Live. And we finally hooked it up to our new cameras, and it's lagging a little bit. And it's like, okay, look, we're not perfect, guys. We're trying to get there. We have problems every day. But we're not just going to say, look, we're not going to do this today because we're lagging. You know what? Let's go. If you don't like the video, man, come back next week. We'll see if we can have it fixed.
Yes. Yeah, there's no such thing as perfection. So I think a lot of people, they want to get it right. They want to make it perfect before they launch it. Well, how are you going to do that? Like, are you going to be the like, are you going to be the Lance Armstrong of cycling before you start riding a bike? Like you've got to start riding a bike to learn how to do it, to become better at it. Like we have the cart before the horse.
Well, the first time he climbed on a bicycle, he didn't win Le Mans.
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't happen.
No, it takes a lot of repetition and practice, and there's even more variables than that. But what's good about marketing and what we're doing is you do not have to be the best in the world. You don't have to be the single best video producer the world's ever seen to win in a very, very big way. We're talking about local markets. You know, you showed up at Social Media Marketing World, which is a nationwide event, as the only plumber. You're just trying to get more business in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Like we forget that we don't need to win at this global level.
But here's the deal, and think about it this way, and you nailed it. And not even Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm in Richardson. Matter of fact, the town you were in, Garland, that's where I grew up at.
Yeah.
So I'm in a little suburb, and I say little. Garland's 250,000 people. Richardson's probably 150. So I'm just out northeast of Dallas. I'm not even trying to hit Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm trying to hit this little bitty area over here. And we did this at the event the other day. Real estate agents that would come up later and talk to me and say, how do I find you? It's like, you know what? While you're here, pull out your phone. If you've got YouTube on it, go to the search bar, put in plumbing. And my channel was the first thing to come up. And they're like, oh God. I said, that's like being on the first page of Google. It's like, oh, I know.
You know.
Trust me. I've paid for that real estate, let me tell you.
Yes.
And when I say I've paid for it, it's not an ad. We have worked hard.
You've earned it.
To be on the first page of YouTube. And it's by learning and doing it and repeating what it is we do every time we fire up the camera.
Yes. Yes. I've had some content on Google's first page. So anyone who's been listening to this podcast for a while has heard me talk about the single best piece of content I've ever done as far as income generated directly from it. I wrote an article for my local real estate website. It was the 15 reasons why you should move to Salt Lake City. And it was this big, like 6 or 8,000 word article. And I got a bunch of backlinks from other high authority websites to it. And it got multiple thousand social shares, because it wasn't, look at my listing, I'm the best agent. It's, here's why you should move to this awesome city. And it went to number 1 on Google's first page and stayed there for a year and a half or so. I mean, multiple 6 figures worth of commission came from that article.
And
so
how much would it cost you to have one ad, first, second, or even the third, in that spot on that page for a year and a half?
Right. I would not have been able to afford that.
Exactly.
Like that's not even in the cards. It was not in the cards for me at the time. And so my point with that is, if I was trying to be number 1 on Google for real estate agents anywhere, like, that wouldn't happen, you know, but in my local market, it happened. You made it happen in your market. And then by focusing on that, now you've become the number 1 plumber on YouTube worldwide, which is just nuts.
It's crazy. And I'm not the biggest channel. I'm the fastest growing. And we do these, we look just like real estate. You've got to learn how to look at the numbers.
Yes.
We do the analytics. We look at our competition. We look at what other people are doing. There's a million different things we look at. But out of the top 10 plumbing channels, most of them are growing anywhere from 1% to 2% a month. And I say a month, I think it's a 60-day, 90-day view or whatever. Mm-hmm. We're growing about 40%.
Month over month?
In a 2 or 3 month period, our growth rate in our subscribers and our views is increasing about 40% every 2 or 3 months.
Killing it.
Right now it's 10. I pulled it up just the other day. It's about 10 or 12% a month that we're growing.
Wow.
And I mean, you know, our subscriber count right now, I don't know if you can see it. I'm looking over my shoulder. It's 26,700. Okay. Yes. We're growing at, I think this month right now is 3,800 a month. So 3,800 subscribers in a month, that's 12% increase, 13, 15%, somewhere around in there. And I'm looking at other channels that are in the 30-day period are growing at 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what we're doing works.
Absolutely.
And it works everywhere. I was at the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show in Vegas a month ago, and same thing. You walk up to people at, InSync Curator, American Standard, Kohler, say, hey, pull out your phone. If you've never YouTube search plumbing, do it. And they're like, oh my God, you're number one. It's like, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
For sure. So as you were starting this journey and you started producing videos on a regular basis, what are some of the headwinds or struggles or things that you just didn't consider that are important that people need to know about if they're going to do this too?
You've got to look at the time. And because your podcast and such, it takes time to do this. And you've got to look at what do you want out of it? Because when I first started doing this, it was to help grow my company. Now that it's like, wait, I'm number one plumbing nationwide. Now I've got plumbing companies. I've got all kinds of other home service companies, residential service companies reaching out to me saying, look, I want to learn to do what you do. So now we're looking at, how can I help people in the trades? I've got people that want to get into the trades. I have messages from high schoolers, boys and girls, from in the United States, people from around the country saying, look, I want to be a plumber. What do I do? Where do I go? How do I start? So we're looking at what can we do to help these people and how can we go about helping these people? And I mean, think about this. This is just the reach that I've developed through social media in under 2 years now. And it's wild.
It is wild. So now that you have, people find you when they search for any plumbing related topic for the most part. And guys, I want to make a distinction real quick too, because I talk a lot about, for real estate agents, they need to stop talking about real estate. It depends on where. Okay. YouTube is a searchable platform. It is a search engine. So having certain topics that you've done content for, you should do on YouTube. I'm talking about on social media, your feed, stuff you post on your Instagram feed. If it's just all real estate listings, blah, 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 nobody cares. But YouTube, people search for the topics that you are doing videos about. Could you give us some examples of some of the videos and the titles of them that you're doing that people are searching for?
Our biggest video that I think it's around 300,000, 400,000 views now, how to stop a running toilet guaranteed. And we've gone further with that because we've started learning about putting things in buckets and building buckets and common keywords and pointing this video to that video and doing different things. And I want to go back to your blog because that is huge.
Mm-hmm.
The top 15 reasons to move to Utah. So if I'm a real estate agent, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to start out in the beginning. My YouTube channel is going to be named something real estate, Utah real estate. That way people know what it's about when they hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to build buckets based on like your blog. Top 5 parks in Salt Lake City, Utah. Top 5 restaurants in Salt Lake City, Utah. And then maybe put something at the end of that from a real estate agent's point of view. Let them see that you've done research, and the reason they would want to move to Provost is because, man, you're never going to find it like this anywhere else. And you start creating those. And here's the way my YouTube channel started. It started out as Texas Green Plumbing. Then after we decided, okay, wait, we're growing this a little bit beyond Richardson, we changed it to the Expert Plumber because I'd already won that contest, had the name, had the branding, it was working. Then a little bit later, it's like, you know what? Let's go to Roger Wakefield because now we've got people from all the trades reaching out to us. It's not just plumbing. And man, if I can help them, I want to help them. I don't want them to look at the channel and say, oh, this guy's just a plumber. He can't help me. I'm an electrician. So it's working.
The topics that you choose to do content on, I think it's the most important. Okay. The quality of the production is important, but it's not number one. You know, if the reason why your videos do so well is people are searching for those things. How to stop a running toilet. That's literally probably one of the most searched for key phrases in all of Google and YouTube, I imagine. And boom, it's your title. So, you know, you've got to be smart with the topics. If you're not doing YouTube, if you're just doing Facebook posts, if you're writing articles, whatever, I mean, consider keywords. If it's searchable content, this is why you have to know, is your content searchable? If it's a Facebook post, no, it's not searchable. If it's a LinkedIn article, yes, it is. You've got to know, and then pick the topics that people want to see, that they're either searching for, or if it's not searchable, that they want to see, stuff that they'll share with their friends, stuff that they'll tag their friends in. And if it's not that, no matter how good of a job you do with, you know, multiple camera angles and lighting and transitions and all this beautiful music, the freaking Chariots of Fire, if it's a topic nobody cares about, it's not going to perform well. And you just wasted your time and money. Go ahead.
You heard me say this at the conference we spoke at. I make the videos people are looking for, not the videos I want to make.
Yes.
That's huge.
Important.
All the difference in the world right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're Apple developing a new invention like the iPhone, people don't know that they want the iPhone. Okay. So that's not what we're talking about here. If you're an agent and you want someone to know that you just got a house under contract in 6 days, you want them to know that. They don't give a shit. That they don't care. The seller does, but they're like, well, why didn't you do it in 5 days? You know, you've got to focus on what people actually care about. And it's the community. It's what's going on. It's the best coffee shops, the best pizza, best burgers, best everything. That's what people search for. That's what people share with their friends. You know, 5 hikes to do with kids, all that stuff, the best parks to go in the winter. There's unlimited numbers of topics. And if you get the topic right, that does the heavy lifting. The topic and a good headline and a good thumbnail image, if applicable, that does the heavy lifting for you. Then you just have to deliver whatever it is people are expecting. You don't need this big production and, you know, a Hollywood studio to make that happen. I've never had any of that, and I've had some pretty good stuff.
The neat thing is you're right. You start out with what you can do. And, you know, one thing that you said a while ago, you don't want to list that you just, look, I got this house signed or closed in 5 days. But what if you made a series of videos, things you can do to close a house in 5 days? And you start off each video. I can't tell you you're going to close every house you do in 5 days, but in this video, I'm going to give you the tips that I used to close a house, or that I've used multiple times, and you go through, and now you're bringing value, not just to the buyers, but other real estate agents. Other real estate agents are like, look, I don't know how to close a house in 5 days. Never done it. And if you can say, look, this is what I've done. So, and even when you start the video, say, you know what, and stay to the very end, because I'm going to give you a tip that is going to help you get really good at this. And save your best tip for last and say, okay, look, now I told y'all, here's what I do. You know, I buy the house myself if I have to, whatever it is. But give people value. I don't want to tell you, hey, I'm going to teach you everything plumbing, and then all I do is talk about, you know what, my phone is how I video. And you come in to learn plumbing, and I'm talking about my phone. You're like, okay, this is not the video for me. YouTube wants you to keep people on YouTube. And if I'm looking for a video about how to close a house in 5 days, and you start talking about how great a real estate agent you are, okay, I'm not getting anything out of that. I may be in Florida. I don't care how good you are in Utah. You're not helping me.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to deliver what people expect. If you've managed to get their attention, if you've managed to get them to click, congratulations. Like, that's huge. Now, It's not over. Now you have to deliver. You have to deliver what they promised. Otherwise, you're going to get, your content will start performing worse when people have negative comments, or they start, if it's YouTube, the thumbs down, or they start hiding it or reporting it. So because nobody likes clickbait, the social networks don't want that. Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned YouTube wants you to stay on YouTube. So does Facebook. So does LinkedIn. So do all of them, because that's how they sell more ads.
Mm-hmm.
The longer people stay on the platform, the more ads can be delivered to that person, the more revenue the platform makes. It's simple, but knowing that going in, you now know what the game is. I'm glad that you mentioned that little tip for videos, for that hook, and honestly, this is kind of a weakness of mine that I've definitely gotten better about over the last year or so, but learning the hook. Stay tuned to the end for X. Many people will do that. People will do what you tell them to do, if as long as you don't tell them to do 10 different things. Where did you start to learn, or how did you start to learn how to make more effective videos as far as the messaging and getting people to tune in for longer? How did that play out as you were going down this process?
After social media marketing world in March, I ended up going to, I guess the first one was Vid Summit. And Vid Summit, and it probably wasn't. It wasn't Vid Summit. I went to Video Marketing World in Dallas, then Vid Summit in LA. And at Vid Summit in LA, I actually talked to Jeremy Vest. And Jeremy Vest is a great YouTube coach. And he's the chief marketing officer for Braille Skateboards, one of the biggest, fastest, and most amazing YouTube channels there is. They're doing phenomenal things. And I started learning. Mm-hmm.
Braille? I'll check that out.
And people that, man, if you're into skateboards, I mean, they've got like a bigger YouTube channel than Tony Hawk. And I'm not a skateboarder, so I mean, for me to even know that stuff tells you how big their channel is.
You fooled me. I thought you skate every free moment you have.
Not at all. I would break my neck. But I literally started learning, and when I did videos from that April to the end of December, I had 361 subscribers, and I know that, and some of these numbers, they burn in your head. Mm-hmm. And I remember because in October, I was in LA at Vid Summit. And it's funny because the people that I see there, I see now, and they're like, oh my God, dude, you're killing it. But I was at Vid Summit, and this couple walked up to me, and they're great people. And we're standing there talking, and the guy looks at me and says, so how many subs you have? I said, 117. He said, wow, 117,000 subscribers. That's amazing. I said, no, 117. And he's like, oh, 117 subscribers. So, I may have had 3 or 4 when I started, because I'd had my channel up for a little bit. I just never did anything with it. October, 117. December, 361. December a year later, 20,000. And actually it's like 20,800 or 900. Once you start studying how to do it and learning how to do it and implementing how to do it, and understand that you have the opportunity to make each video, even if it's 1% better, always focus on trying to get a little bit better. And it changes everything. LinkedIn started seeing my videos. I started doing videos on LinkedIn. LinkedIn reached out to me before Vid Summit, or before Social Media Marketing World last year, and asked me if I would be interested in doing LinkedIn Live. I said, I've never heard of it. And they said, well, you'll be one of the beta testers. Wow. And I was one of the first 12 people in the world to do LinkedIn Live.
Jeez, I need you to put in a good word for me. They still won't give it to me. I've applied. Man, and it's crazy. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but you're a plumber in Richardson, Texas, and you're getting on the radar of LinkedIn to be a beta tester for a new product they're rolling out. They obviously saw you as someone who has influence and has, would provide valuable feedback to them based on your experience, because you started talking to a camera and putting it on the internet. It's just crazy what's happening. And it's even crazier that there's people out there who poo-poo that still don't fully use the tools that you talked about, the tools that they have available, most of them free, to grow their business. It's nuts. I do not get it.
I'll tell you the part that really surprises me. I mean, I've got text message on here. Michael Stelzner owns Social Media Marketing World.
Mm-hmm.
Social Media Marketing World, Social Media Examiner, the Social Media Society. He has sent me messages saying, hey, I want to ask you some questions. Man, what was it like when you walked in? What made you do what you do? And man, it was the people there. It was the people that spoke there, the people that worked there. It was everything about it. But one thing you said earlier, it's about, look, you get these tools, you get this information, and then you don't do anything with it. I literally, on the way home, was going through my notes on the plane. I came in all day Saturday and went through my notes. I say that. I left early because I had a radio show here in Dallas Saturday morning. Sunday morning, my wife and I went to church, took her back home, dropped her off, came back, went through my notes. Monday morning, I'm like, look, we're changing everything we do, and we're starting right now. And it would have been so easy to say, but wait, man, the plumbing company's here. I really need to go run it. But I think when I walked in and saw and learned what I learned and realized what tools were out there, I was like, look, I can change the way I do things. And I know that real estate agents are like, look, I don't have time for that. I work with a lot of real estate agents. I understand. I don't have time for that. Well, I run a plumbing company. I don't either. Now I'm running a digital marketing agency. Don't have time for that either. But I used to pay Google a lot of money for ads. Most real estate agents pay Zillow or somebody. Now YouTube pays me and sends me customers. LinkedIn, I have people call and say, hey, will you coach me? Will you consult with me? Will you do this? Will you do that? Will you show me how to set up my page? Will you tell me how to grow my reach like you have? The world has completely changed for this plumber.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back to something you said, Roger, you're just a plumber. And you're right.
Yep.
And we've all got a story to tell. We've all got something that we bring to the table. We've just got to look at how we're doing it. And one thing that you said that struck me and I wanted to go back to, people look back at, well, this is how it's always been done. This is what people just keep doing. And one thing Gary Vee said, and just, man, it really hit me hard, and I try to look at it all the time. Don't look at what real estate agents have been doing from 2015 to 2020. Look at what they're going to be doing from 2020 to 2025. Start doing that now. Because I'm doing what plumbers should be doing.
Yes.
And 2 years from now, they're all going to be doing it, but they're going to be saying, man, I remember the first time I saw Roger and I thought, man, why is he doing that? Now they're asking me how I do it.
Yes. I want to take a quick little rant for just a second, or not rant, but you've opened the door to something that I think is important. So in our industry, there's all these technology companies, Silicon Valley companies that are coming in and disrupting the way the real estate agent model works. And I look at that because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a marketer. I'm an entrepreneur. I love the business part, and I happen to sell homes too. I'm able to remove what I do for a living from, like, I'm able to step back from that and think objectively. These companies like Zillow, Open Door, that Uber House, I think it is, HAUS, that Uber's founders invested in. There's all these new companies that are looking at how things are done in the real estate industry, seeing these big, huge commission checks that are possible and multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per transaction. And they're like, how can we get some of that? And agents are pissed. Agents are like, well, wait a minute, that's not how things are done. Well, guess what? Maybe they should be. Maybe they should be done a different way. Maybe they should be. And maybe you, if you got your head out of your ass, could actually be one of those companies to disrupt the way things are done for the better. There's nothing that says that real estate agents cannot participate in that disruption. You're just choosing not to.
Don't get mad at the disruption. Become the disruptor.
Yes.
Look at what they're doing and say, wow, you know what? I like what they're doing, but if they'd have done it this way, it'd be better.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And it's not like you don't have to be a founder of a startup and do a Series A and a Series B and, all these fundraising rounds. You don't have to do that. Roger, you yourself have been a disruptor in the plumbing industry, locally especially, but as a whole, because you just did things a little differently as far as how you get in front of clients and get in front of customers. And it's opened up all these other opportunities. You can disrupt in other ways. There's Zillow, there's Redfin, there's all these giant multi-billion-dollar companies. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, sure, we could start one of those companies too. It's just a lot more difficult.
Absolutely.
You can disrupt at a local level. You just have to think different. Okay, just because something hasn't been done or things are done a certain way doesn't mean that that's the right way. Doesn't mean it's the most efficient. Doesn't mean it's the best for you. Doesn't mean it's the best for the consumer. Like even the brokerage that you align yourself with, is that really the best, or are you just too damn stubborn to look elsewhere? I could go off on I'm gonna pump the brakes.
No, I love it. Yeah, but you're right. And I mean, that's what people need to hear is, look, man, just sitting there on your butt doing the exact same thing you've done the last 5 years, how's that working out for you?
Exactly.
Because if that's what you do, guess where your butt's going to be in 5 years?
Yeah.
In that same freaking chair.
Mm-hmm.
And,
exactly.
God, think about the things that you've just said. What can I do to disrupt the situation, to disrupt the industry? And I don't mean in a bad way. What can I do? I used to hear that all the time. Different is better. No, different is just different.
Mm-hmm.
Better is better. Be better than what's out there. Find a way to do something. And, I go back, one of my first coaches was Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth books. And I remember when I went to his conference, which was also in San Diego, and it was a private conference. I mean, there were 30, 40 people in a room, and we each had one-on-one time. And, he looked at us and he said, I want you to look in your world and say, I know this could never happen, but if I could change this, if I could make this do this, that could change the world. And I've always, I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, look, I've always thought that way now. And I remember the day I flew home from San Diego from that event with Michael Gerber, my wife and I are going down Mockingbird. We turn left to get on the toll road. And all of a sudden I reach over and I grab her arm and I said, oh my God, I've got it. And I'm an idea guy. So, for me to stay focused, man, it's tough.
I know the feeling. Yep.
I've got like 10 new business ideas every day.
I can relate.
But this one was a big one. So I literally, my wife and I have a great friend that's a business attorney. Called him, took him to lunch one day. I said, man, look, I just want to spit this out and see what you think. And of course, I've had this conversation before, and normally it's like, yeah, good luck with that. And I told him about this idea, and he said, oh my God. He said, Roger, that's the kind of business that Google pays billions of dollars for, because that's not being done. And he saw, just like me, this would change the world. I look at social media the same way. What are people not doing? You heard me talk about a young lady here in Dallas, and your people are real estate agents, so I hope y'all get this clearly. Her name is Janet Melton. I've never met Janet, but Janet was on social media so much on LinkedIn, putting a post about a neighborhood, a park, a restaurant, something in an area. And she did this, I'm going to say 10 times a day. To be honest, it was probably once or twice, but she did it every day. And she was so consistent. And she was nice about it. She wasn't trying to sell. She's like, let me tell you why I love coming to this neighborhood. Oh my gosh. And there's something. Or, hey, you know what? My grandmother had a birthday party today and we're at this park. And man, have y'all ever thought of moving in this area? This park's amazing. Not, hey, I've got a house here for sale. Just, man, check this out. And I saw this so many times. And, you saw me the other day on stage. I said, look, let me tell you all about Janet Melton. And not Lila, but Leah, sitting 2 seats down from me, says, oh my God, I know her. Mm-hmm. I don't know her, but I know her name.
And she's an agent.
She's an agent in Dallas.
Yeah.
And man, that's all I can tell you. But think about it. If your community, I've got almost 8,000 connections on LinkedIn. If all 8,000 of my connections knew me like that, wow.
Right. she's the first one you think of and the only one you think of because she's just there all the time. That's why you hear Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and others talk about doing as much content as possible, not, trying to get the right balance of one post a day. And look, if you're putting out garbage, yes, you can do way too much of that.
Yeah.
But that's not garbage. It doesn't take a lot of thinking. People's guards are down when they're watching it. They're just seeing their community in a different light with a new perspective. And you can just do that all day long. I love that. I want to transition to one final question before we jump into the rapid fire questions for the week.
Yes, sir.
Picking the topic, because as we discussed, if you get the topic right, that does so much of the heavy lifting. It's like if you've studied stock market investing, if you get the sector right, the individual stock that you choose within it isn't nearly as important as just the right direction. Like, are you in the right place? The topic is the same thing. How do you pick topics? How do you research them? How do you decide what you're going to do a video or a piece of content about?
First of all, you've got to know what your channel's about. My channel's about plumbing. If I start making videos about cats, people are going to get off my channel quick.
Unless they're stuck in a toilet or something.
Yeah, unless they're trying to get a cat out of a toilet, and they're probably not going to find that video on mine.
Maybe they should, Roger. Maybe they should.
I know. I'm going to write that down. It may be something I need to do later. Yeah, the interesting thing is, and there's a lot of different places, a lot of different tools available to help you find this information. Start with Google. Start with YouTube. Go in and search, what's there? What has the most views? What are people looking for? We start looking at, where do you make your money? If you're a real estate agent, do you make your money selling $40,000 condos? Or it's going to take you just as much work to sell a $350,000 house. What neighborhood are you focusing on? And if you, just look at it like that. If you've got a neighborhood that has $40,000 condos and you're making videos about the park, that park probably doesn't look amazing. But if you've got a neighborhood that's got $350,000 houses on a golf course, then you could probably make some pretty cool videos. And think about that. Just what I just said. And this is how my mind works. So if you've got a golf course in your community that you may be selling a house in, because you're not selling in this video, but what if you went to the golf course and said, hey, can I borrow a golf course? I want a video just driving through your course. I want to show people what your course is like. And you may just show the green and the tee box or the creeks or this or that. And every now and then turn the camera and say, oh my God, guys, this is so beautiful. If you've never come out here, just come check it out. Well, now when people start looking for a place to live, they're like, hey, you know what? They got a cool golf course over there. What's that girl's name? Oh, yeah, it was Janet Melton. Let's give her a call. Mm-hmm. You've got to come up with ideas that other people aren't doing, but also do the research, because you want to make videos people are looking for. There's Google Trends. There's Google. There's TubeBuddy. There's vidIQ. There's Video Amigo. There are tools out there to help you find information. And then there's just a whole lot of work and research. I tell people we spend about 40 hours before we ever make a video.
Wow.
Doing research, trying to find out what that video needs to be about. And don't get me wrong, a lot of that time can be shared with a lot of videos. Mm-hmm. We may spend 40 hours and come up with 6 videos, 8 videos. But we've done the research where we know this is being looked for, this is good. And then all the stuff that we do on LinkedIn, I do LinkedIn Live twice a week. I do YouTube Live once a week. We put out 3 videos on YouTube every week. I put out content on LinkedIn all the time. And it's like, and then it's funny, I'm watching one of my YouTube consultants the other day, and I made a comment, and it's 2 guys. It's Nick and Dee Nemon. They're phenomenal. And I made a comment. Nick says, oh, Roger's in here. And Dee says, no, he's been in here for a while. He says, by the way, Roger, while we're talking to you, what you're doing on Instagram is phenomenal. And I'm like, man, we're just getting started on Instagram. And he's like, the quality of your video, the content, the way you put it out, everything you're doing there is great. And I'm like, I love it that I'm not even focusing on Instagram, but people are reaching out to me about it. But it's because of the value, the content that we bring. And we know it's what people are looking for, and we want to give them great value. And once you get to where you're doing that, man, you're going to own it.
How do you fight overanalyzing, because I know, because I've done this, I know others that do this, they start going down that path of researching keywords, researching topics. They use Keywords Anywhere or TubeBuddy or the Google Keywords tool, which is garbage. How do you know when you're just overanalyzing, and how do you prevent that?
You've got to come up with a system that works for you. And Dustin, it's great because you've listed some great tools there. And I've gone through all those tools at some point. Eventually you get down to where, hey, look, here's how we come up with our best ideas. And sometimes it's from customers calling here. Sometimes it's my live. Somebody will jump in my live and say, hey, how do you do this? It's like, wow, you know what? We need to make that video. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's that easy, but then we'll go in and do the research. What are the exact words to use? And guys, YouTube is a study. LinkedIn is a study. Instagram is a study. Make sure you know how each platform works, how you respond and reply and interact on that platform, because it all goes into that research. We may put a different video on LinkedIn than we do on YouTube. Or we may edit it different, or we may, hey, we're not going to put this part in here, but let's put this part in here. And it works, guys. And I mean, man, that's I can tell you a million different things about it, but if you learn to give people the videos they're looking for, you're going to win.
Yes. It's funny. So I write a column every week for Housing Wire, and the most recent one, let's see. So when this comes out, yeah, if you're listening to this on Thursday, the 20th, when it comes out, the most recent one about the fear of new things. As I was writing it, I was just like, like I wasn't feeling it. I just threw it out there and I'm like, this is going to be my worst one yet. It's been the best one yet by far. I've had so many people reaching out. I've had so many new connections on LinkedIn and Facebook from it. And it's funny because when I look back at content I've done, it's usually the stuff that I don't overanalyze. I know it. Like I know whatever it is I'm putting out, but it's just like you put it out and let the market decide. Put it out, let the audience decide. And it's often the stuff that you may not expect to do so well does. And if you overanalyze and try to get it perfect and predict what the audience is going to do and how they're going to react, that can't happen. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. The best video I've got, how to stop a running toilet guaranteed. Literally, I don't remember if we had camera problem with another video we had shot, but we're like, man, look, we need a video.
Yes. And
we rolled, I've got a cutaway toilet, meaning that I've got the back cut out of it where people can see in it. I said, look, let's roll this toilet in here. I had on my orange shirt. We've got a black curtain backdrop. I had on my gloves. I said, look, let's make this video, how to rebuild a toilet. I said, look, this is something everybody needs. And we didn't do our normal data collection. We didn't do our normal this and that. We still did some because we know what we're doing. So we still pulled things up to figure it all out. But even when we posted the video, I remember Will coming in the office. He says, look, I don't like this. He said, it's not going to be good. Don't get me wrong, the video's good, the audio's good and all that, but man, this is not our best work. It's like, well, Will, you know what? It is what it is. It's good information. It gives people what they need. And we've got more responses on that video, more views on that video. That is a video that YouTube grabbed and started recommending and suggesting to people. And once you start studying YouTube, you start learning why they do that, how they do that, what videos they do it on, things like that. Guys, YouTube is a science. But I love that you said that about your article, because I kid you not, Will walked into my office and said, hey, this video sucks.
And it's your number one.
He said, we didn't do everything we normally do. It's like, no, but Will, we had to get it out. Look, it's fine. And you can look at the analytics where it goes along. And then all of a sudden, I mean, it jumps. And it's like you said, look, I didn't think it was our best. I knew they had great value, but man, it worked.
Last question. How important is it when you're choosing topics or choosing a strategy at all that you go with your gut or follow the excitement, follow what interests you? Because I have a feeling that that day at Social Media Marketing World, when you made the decision to go all in on video, something about it was exciting to you.
I think it was the fact that I knew nobody was doing it. I mean, remember, they had already told me there's no plumbers here. There's nobody like you here. And I'm like, why not? I mean, I got tired of getting ripped off by OPM marketing, other people's money. Those marketing companies, that's all it was about. How much more money do you have to spend? We can make you blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much is it going to cost? Well, we don't know that. Just start spending a lot more, and we'll tell you how that goes.
Right.
And there's nothing there that was helping. They weren't being honest. I mean, we've literally paid some marketing companies to make our phone stop ringing. They rebuilt the web page. They did this. They did this. They did this. And we'd literally pick up our cell phones, call the office. It's like, well, okay, the phone's working. I mean, remember in high school when you told a girl, hey, I like you, call me later, and you sat by the phone all night, and every 10 minutes you're picking it up like, well, we still have a dial tone. For those kids that are watching that, the phones used to plug into the wall, and when you picked it up, you had a dial tone.
Yeah, and you had a 50-foot long cord to go in the other room.
Absolutely, yeah. Or to curl up in the bed under the covers with or whatever.
Yep.
But, I mean, it got so bad our phone stopped ringing. And I think when I walked in social media marketing world and started learning the things I did, I thought, look, I can control my future. I'm not putting it in another marketing company's hand. I can decide if I want to do video. I can decide if I just want to write an article or a post. And here's one thing that I will tell all of y'all is, look, I picked YouTube. And you may not pick YouTube. You may pick LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is phenomenal for real estate agents because of what I've seen. I mean, I've seen you, I've seen Janet, I've seen Rogers Healy, I've seen so many real estate agents do great things there. I've seen a lot of them try on YouTube, but they're trying to sell houses. Mm-hmm. And that's all they're trying to do. And it doesn't work.
Right.
So my thing is pick one and get really good at it and then move to another one. And we picked YouTube. And then we went to LinkedIn. And now we're going to Instagram. And don't get me wrong, I've got Pinterest. I've got TikTok. I've got Twitter. I've got all that. And we tweet a lot of stuff too. But pick one and get good at. Learn to share to other places. And then learn to go in and build those places what it is they're looking for. But the thing that got me excited about it is nobody's doing this.
Right.
Why not?
Love it. Yeah, you could be getting excited about the strategy or what you're doing. It could excite you for different reasons. You saw the growth opportunity or the opportunity to just take over, and that excited you. It just happened to be video. And so you're like, all right, well, we're going to do video. I love it. Roger, let's jump into the rapid fire questions for the week. Either or questions. Just pick one or the other. You don't need to elaborate if you don't want to. And then I'll follow up with 3 different questions. The most impactful book, 1 app recommendation, and the best piece of advice you've ever received. So, Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Instagram or LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
Podcast or audiobook?
Audiobook.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Alexa or Google Home?
None of the above.
Okay. I get that a lot on the show. It's kind of funny. Burgers or pizza?
Pizza.
New York or LA?
LA.
NFL or NBA?
Got to go NBA. They don't kneel for the national anthem.
Oh, there you go.
So you'll get me going off then.
Yes. Baseball or basketball?
Basketball.
Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Podcasting or vlogging?
I've never vlogged, but I'm wanting to start a podcast. So I got to say podcast.
I love it. You have a nice setup there. You've got your mic, your Rode mic and all that. You're good to go.
But man, we got the Rode mixer. I mean, even my video guy, my YouTube guy came and he's like, guys, y'all got everything.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we are trying to do it right.
You are.
But there's what we started with right there. Every bit of it.
Our phones are so damn powerful, amazing 4K cameras, and you don't even need 4K usually. But man, so cool. It's all in the palm of your hand.
And like you said, you're doing yours with your Mac camera.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, that's all it takes to start.
Yeah.
If you start doing it and then start making money. I was like, hey, now I can afford. I don't just buy these cameras. I wait till YouTube sends me a check and I can say, hey, now I can afford to buy a camera. Big difference.
Cash flow it. I love it.
Absolutely.
YouTube or Facebook Live?
YouTube, without a doubt.
YouTube Live or LinkedIn Live?
Oh, man.
I knew I'd get you on one of these.
Oh, God. That one. I gotta say YouTube Live, and there's only a couple of reasons. We're lagging on LinkedIn right now, and it's because we're having we haven't figured out the problem.
With the audio, you got the Bruce Lee effect going.
Well, no, it's our that we just went to the cameras, and so we used to do everything. People laugh at me because I would get comments from all kinds of people. Dude, tell me what setup where you're using. Your video is amazing on LinkedIn Live. It's like if y'all saw these two iPads that we're shooting with and using Switcher Studios, everything was an iPad or an iPhone, and it was amazing. And now we've gone over to Restream.io, and I've got two $1,200 cameras up here, and it's the video's lagging, it's jumping, it's glitching, and it's like, man, come on.
That's a good lesson right there. Just use the phone you have in your hand. Phone, iPad.
I kid you not, I could do LinkedIn Live right now, set up through here in Switcher, and people would be like, dude, what camera have you got? That's amazing.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's my phone.
Yep. And let the record show, Roger held up an iPhone 11 Pro.
Yes, he did.
You can't just have two cameras.
The 11 Pro Max.
Oh, you got the Max.
Yes, my wife picked it out for me. Thank God, I love her. She I told her, I said, look, I want the good one, and I was thinking like 512 memory and stuff. And she comes in with this one. I'm like, okay. I'm like, man, that's a lot bigger than the other one I had. So it's great. I love it. The camera's phenomenal.
Yeah, if one camera is good, two cameras is great, three cameras is fantastic. So
and four because you got the one on the other side. So it's like, there you go, brother.
Right.
There you go.
That's true. We have four.
You get it.
Yeah. Uber or Lyft?
Uber. Gary
V or Grant Cardone?
Gary V.
What's the most impactful book you've ever read?
I've got to say E-Myth. E-Myth by Michael Gerber, because that's what really got me moving. But since I started networking and learning to grow my business by building relationships, Chaz Wilson has got a book called 5+1. And that's probably the one I recommend to more people, because that teaches people how to build relationships and not just sell. How to build a relationship. Think about it. If we built relationships, we wouldn't have to sell. People would want to buy from us.
Right.
And to me, that's what that's all about.
And that's the game. That is literally how you sell the most, is have the most relationships.
And people don't get it. They still, it's a hard sell world. And it's like, wait, I'm going to build relationships, and people call me up and say, hey, I want to buy from you. And it's funny because we all love to buy. We just hate to be sold to.
Mm-hmm. Which is, now it's telling why you chose Gary V over Grant Cardone.
But you know what? I like what Grant and Elena are doing. And I love the fact, and Elena actually put a post out a few months back, and I went and got Julie. I said, you need to read this. And it's about couples. And, Julie has been building JW Etiquette. Roger's been building Texas Green Plumbing, and Julie works here and helps me with it. But at the end of the day, in her comment, she said, when couples come together and work on building something together, it's amazing. And think about it. And I'm 56, so 10 years from now, I've got a great plumbing company. Julie's got a great etiquette company, and man, our lives are on other ends of the world. Now she's down in Houston building master networks. I've been helping her with that, and I'm building Roger Wakefield, and it's stuff that we can both do together. And man, I love it.
It gets fun.
It does.
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
Nothing against Grant Cardone. I'm not that hard sales guy, but I think that him and Elena have great things that they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's a lot of other guests we've had on, and myself included. Grant Cardone, it's more of just his personality, the way he says things, his voice sometimes is just, But the subject matter that he talks about a lot of times, outside of like the scripting and hard selling and, keep bugging people till they till they block
Eventually
you.
they say, yeah.
Yeah, like that whole thing. But he does have some great stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I need to go back. I saw a video about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. He interviewed or they did a video, him and a plumber, and I think out of California or somewhere. I need to go back and watch that because like you said, he's talking to a plumber about how to grow his business. And I have nothing against him. I think they do great things.
No doubt.
It's a completely different mindset, like you said. And to put him up against Gary V, I'm sure you thought about these.
Yes. Yes, exactly. What's an app recommendation, something that you're using right now in your business or personal life that you love?
Oh God, there's YouTube Studio, there's TubeBuddy, Waze. I tell you what, I drive a lot because of being a plumber, and I'm sure real estate agents do too. Waze, to me, it gets me where I need to go.
I've never used Waze. I don't know why. I still use Google Maps, and everyone's like, use Waze. I just don't.
Somebody told me
Probably
Google
should.
Maps bought Waze, so they have all the same stuff now, and I don't know.
I think so.
But I know Waze will tell me, and one of my neatest things is, and it was back when Garmin was still around.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving back from Austin, and all of a sudden my Garmin said exit, and I'm on 35. It's like, wait, I got 150 miles to go. Had me exit, go across the service road, go across the bridge to the service road on the other side. And when I was going across, I could see about half a mile up, traffic had started backing up. We went up the service road on the other side and I think we went 5 or 7 miles, went right back across the bridge, got back on, went around every bit of it. And we heard later the 2 18-wheelers, or we saw it, 2 18-wheelers were in a wreck. They did not clear that traffic jam for like 6 hours. That's what Waze does. Waze changes and says, hey, turn here. It's like, okay, I don't know why, but I'm going to turn. And man, it saves me. So I love that.
That's cool. And then what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Fire the plumber.
Fire the plumber.
When I met Michael Gerber, I went to San Diego for a conference. It was the Dream Room. And literally, the guy who went up on stage before me, Michael wanted you to write out your business plan, basically, and it was in different colored Sharpies in a big notebook, and you made it look cool. And I did, man. I wrote it and used all the different colors and yada yada yada. Well, the guy, he says, "Okay, who wants to go first?" The guy next to me literally raises his hand, so he goes up there and he's talking to Michael Gerber. He says, "So tell me about your business." And the guy says, "Well, I've got an idea about a device that's going to put in our cars and kill the germs because the germs are killing us." And Michael looks at him and says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Yep, there's germs in our car that are killing us and we don't even know it. And I'm working on designing a device we're going to put in our car and it's going to kill those germs." And Michael said, "That's just pure shit." And the guy looks at him, and Michael looks at and says, "How many of y'all think that's shit?" He says, "Seriously, this is a shitty idea." He says, look, don't bring that shit up here. He says, "Matter of fact, you take your notepad back, you go sit down and come up with something else, and I'll call you back up here on Sunday." And man, this guy walks dejected, got his tail between his legs, and goes back and sits down. Michael Gerber says, "So who wants to go next?" And man, I throw my arm up in the air and I'm waving, and everybody else in the room has got their head down, they're writing, they're looking on their phone. He says, "Okay, you back here, come on." So I walk up here and I sat down. He said, "Thanks for coming up here." I said, "Absolutely." He said, "So why'd you come up here?" I said, "Because you called me." He says, "I didn't call you. I asked for a volunteer." I said, No. You called me." And he looks at me and says, "Look, I don't know what you think, but you volunteered to come up here." I said, "Well, here's the deal. The guy that was up here before me, all I heard you say was shit, 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 shit. I'm a plumber. I think you were calling me." And he just started laughing. So we go through my business plan, and he gets to the end of it, and he says, "Man, this is good. You've been thinking about this." I said, "I've been working on this for a while." And he looks out at the crowd, and there's 40 people in a room in this private class or session. He said, "How many of y'all believe this?" And a lot of people raise their hand. He said, "This is good. This is real good." And he hands it back to me. He says, "You've only got one problem." I said, "Okay." He said, "You got to fire the plumber." And I stopped and I thought, well, what do you mean fire the plumber? And he said, "You're the technician. You're out doing everything there. You cannot work on your business if you're working in your business. You've got to find a way to fire the plumber. And for the rest, and this was Friday night, Michael Gerber at the time was probably 80 years old. He spoke Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I never saw him take more than one break during the day. He went to his hotel room, took a nap, ate, whatever he did, came back down. But he was on stage continuously. And I mean, it's like 15-hour days. And he never stopped. And all weekend long, we had doctors, attorneys, all kinds of people with different business ideas coming up there. And every time somebody'd come up and they'd go through the story, like, man, that's pretty good. He's like, Roger, what do we got to do? We got to fire the plumber. You can't be the doctor and run this business you're talking about running. You can't be the plumber and grow your business. Not if you're out plumbing every day. And, you know, real estate agents that want to grow and become a brokerage, you can't be a broker if you're just being a real estate agent every day. You've got to fire that agent and move up to something else.
Yes.
So to me, the greatest advice I've ever been given in my life is fire the plumber.
I could not have planned a better wrap to that, to this interview. That's fantastic. I'm such a believer of that. And every day I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of the mechanics, not get rid, but have someone else who's better than me do them so that I can focus on building the business. And that is so important. Look, if that's all you want, if you really do enjoy meeting with client after client and opening doors and making offers, and that excites you and you love it, there's nothing wrong with that. But those of us who want more, we can't get more if we're on the hamster wheel of close a transaction. Oh, got to start over at the beginning with somebody else and do it again and again. And if I stop, so does the income. You've got to build a business. Fantastic. Roger, thank you so much.
Oh, Dustin, this was great. I enjoyed this. This was really wonderful.
Yeah, this is good stuff, man. Where can people find you?
YouTube, Roger Wakefield. It's easy to find under plumbing, all things plumbing, the expert plumber. Just look for Roger Wakefield on YouTube. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I love communicating with people and talking about what I do.
And we'll have all of Roger's social media links and website links and everything in the show notes over on massiveagentpodcast.com. Roger, thank you so much for being on the Massive Agent Podcast. I really enjoyed it. I know that I've consumed some of your videos in the past when I was looking for, like running faucets or something. And it's crazy that we met up in Texas a few weeks ago, and now we're doing the show together. Immense value. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your wisdom with the Massive Agent audience.
Dustin, thank you for the opportunity. This has been great, and hopefully there's a real estate agent out there that listen to this and thinks, you know what, I can do that too, because they really can.
Roger, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
See ya. Guys, thanks for listening through. It was such a fun interview, and he's such a cool guy. I met him, like I said in the interview, I met him when I went to Garland, Texas to speak at a Fairway Mortgage event. I was the MC and I moderated a panel at the event, and Roger was on the panel, and we really hit it off, and I realized this guy really knows his shit. Sure, he's a plumber, but he's also an online marketer and a very, very good one. So I'm glad that we could get him on the show. He shared some serious wisdom and gold. So Roger, thank you for that. Guys, one more reminder, go to massiveagentpodcast.com/EXP. Watch the new video with an open mind. That's all I can ask. I can't make it make sense for you. I can't make you see what I see. I can't make you get excited about it. I can't do any of that. What I can do is encourage you to open your mind. Take off your Realty 1 jersey, take off your Remax jersey or your KW jersey or your Century 21 jersey, whatever the hell it is, okay? Take it off for just a second and educate yourself on the industry. Why is eXp Realty, this particular brokerage, growing so damn fast? Why am I so excited about it that I'm going to spend time on my podcast trying to get you to watch a video to see what it's about? Why? Why is that? Okay, it's not... Just have an open mind. Go to the website, watch the video, and then schedule a Zoom call with me to talk details, to talk about what it means for you and how you can plug into it and what I can provide to you and help you with if you're part of my eXp organization. So do that right now, massiveagentpodcast.com/EXP. And last call for the 50% off the annual Massive Agent Society membership. Just go to massiveagentsociety.com. Make sure your market is not claimed yet. So click on the claim market part of the menu. Look at the map. If yours is not, if your market is not covered in red, claim it. $999 for the whole year. That's 50% off the annual membership. Figure that out monthly. I'm not going to do it because I can't do that off the top of my head so easily, but that is ridiculously cheap. Go do it today only. That's actually the promo code, today only. MassiveAgentSociety.com. Today being Thursday, February 20th. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Take care. Go sell some homes. Go close some loans. Have a great freaking weekend. I'll see you back here next week. Take care.